Watch how the third quarter goes down. At least they called this one. Asia Wilson creams Lexi Hall like she did 5 times in game 1. Peggy Hammock get 15 calls in a row and one goes another way and she starts screaming and crying. Asia Wilson doesn't like Lexi Hall. She's always pushing her, but that's an illegal screen, and then Lexi Hall gets called for a foul.
The Indiana Fever let game 2 slip away. Not because they were outplayed, but because the referees practically handed it to the Las Vegas Aces. 41 fouls were called, with 16 coming in a single quarter. Players were tossed to the floor, yet somehow Aya Wilson walked away celebrated for her stat line, while Lexi Hull gutted it out despite a back injury from game 1. This wasn't basketball, it was chaos disguised as defense. Still, the Fever found a way to battle through it. Now the question is, what will it mean when the series shifts back to Indiana? Show your support for the Fever by commenting.
I mean, it feels like a physical game every game. Feels like it's been a physical season. But yes, I think, I feel like I've been on the ground a little bit more this series so far. But we just keep getting back up, so that's all you can really say.
How did Indiana march into Las Vegas, take on the 2-time defending champions, battle through lopsided whistles, and still walk out with a double-digit win? Game 1 wasn't just a statement. It shook the entire league. The Fever opened with a poise and composure rare for such a young squad. Leading the charge, Kelsey Mitchell erased any lingering doubts by dropping a playoff career-high 34 points. Each time the Aces tried to seize momentum, Indiana answered. Not with flashy plays, but with...
Take that! Hell yeah! Hell yeah! That's one! That's one! That's one!
That ain't song and dance to me, man. I'm just grateful, man. I love basketball. I love playing with my team, so let's take what we can get.
And then came the Aces' supposed trump card, Aya Wilson, the MVP, who endured a nightmare shooting performance, hitting just 6 of 22 attempts. 6. Indiana's defense hounded her all night, contesting every shot at the rim and making her earn every single point. That was the difference. One team playing with surgical precision, staying disciplined without fouling.
Asia Wilson, look at that foul they called for. Yeah, saved her. That's some bullcrap. I love Aaliyah Boston. Great job today playing defense. Look at that. Another foul. Bailed out by the refs. I get pissed off. This is the worst one. They call this a jump ball. How is that a jump ball? Nobody even had possession. Aaliyah Boston, that's anything is over the back. Not a jump ball.
What made the loss sting even more for Vegas was the setting. At home, with the whistle clearly tilted in their favor and national pundits already predicting an easy series sweep. Instead, the Fever stood firm and stormed out with a 16-point rout. Fans quickly spotted the cracks, noting how skewed the foul count looked even in a win. But the sheer magnitude of Indiana's performance overshadowed those complaints. The bias wasn't missed, it was just pushed.
And Asia Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces lose game 1 on their home court to the Indiana Fever, 89-73. The Indiana Fever were in control of this game from start to finish.
That 16-point embarrassment lit a fire under the Aces. There was no brushing off, so they came into game 2 determined to reset the narrative. The question was never if Vegas would respond, but how far they were willing to go. And at what price? Was game 2 really basketball, or just a brawl disguised as playoff intensity by the officials? From the opening tip, it was obvious the Aces had no intention of keeping it clean.
WNBA, you cannot blindside somebody and set a screen on them without enough time for letting the player being screened react. And then look at this. This one, their arms lock up, but you gotta let go at some point. Like, you can't bring the person closer to you and just stay locked in while the offensive player is trying to get the rebound. But we know Asia Wilson only receives fouls.
From the start, Vegas came out swinging, arms flying, bodies crashing on nearly every possession, while the officials failed to rein it in. What should have been a showcase of two elite teams quickly unraveled into a whistle fest, with 41 fouls called in total. 16 of them came in the third quarter alone, a stretch that robbed Indiana of any chance to establish rhythm. Each spark...
Seth, why don't you think you were able to find any flow? And when that was the case, what are you trying to do to jumpstart things, maybe on the defense?
Well, it's hard for us to find flow when there's a foul call every 10 seconds. I mean, it just really is. And when they're at the free throw line, we can't get up and down the floor. And that's a challenge. They were much more aggressive and physical defensively. We didn't counter that with our off-ball actions or with our back cuts. So they took us out of our comfort zone. I mean, offense is about rhythm, it's about timing, it's about spacing. We allowed them to do that, and they kept us from doing it.
The physicality wasn't an occasional flare-up, it defined the entire game. Players were shoved off their cuts, defenders leaned on forearms instead of footwork, and bodies kept hitting the floor. What stood out wasn't just the sheer number of fouls, but how they shattered Indiana's rhythm. The Fever are a team that thrives on pace, ball movement, and flow, yet they were dragged into a wrestling match they never wanted. Meanwhile, Vegas racked up trips to the free throw line.
Yeah, Lexi, obviously you were a late add to the injury report today. Just how are you feeling this morning with your back, and what do you have to do to be able to play?
I mean, I'm feeling sore still, but I think just a lot of treatment, trying to get, our bodies as ready as we can be. Part of playoffs, I think, for everyone is it's the end of the season. Everyone's a little fatigued, everyone's a little sore. So just trying to go out there and do the best I can. A lot of treatment with our trainers. I'm really thankful for them to spend a lot of time with me today, a lot of time with me yesterday, getting me ready for tonight.
This is what happened. They cut it to 8 and they get 4 fouls in a row. That was not a foul. That was not a foul. This is crazy. 4 consecutive fouls. So from 8, it goes to 13 really quick, and the rest was history. It looks like Howard got hit in the arm by 2 players. They don't call foul. It was a shot clock. But the rest of the game were just a whole bunch of fouls being called, people flying.